Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.
Comprehensive debate in Parliament on India-China dispute. Congress demands white paper on developments at LAC. Government taking steps to establish CBSE schools in the state, says Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma. Khalistan terror outfit chief Hardeep Singh Nijjar, one of the India's most wanted, killed in Canada. Balasore train accident. CBI seals house of railway signal junior engineer Amir Khan after he goes missing with family. Hi, this is Khushi Chauhan and you're watching Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world. The Congress demanded a white paper on the situation at the line of actual control at the border with China and a comprehensive discussion on the India-China border dispute in Parliament. Senior spokesperson of the Congress Manish Tiwari said at a press conference here that 3 years ago, on June 19, 2020, Prime Minister Narendra Modi told an all-party meeting after the Galwan clashes that neither anyone has entered our border nor any post is in the possession of others. Tiwari said Modi's remarks were contrary to a statement issued by the Ministry of External Affairs a day before, where it was clearly stated that the Galwan incident took place because Chinese soldiers tried to intrude and set up tents on the Indian side of the border. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that government is taking steps to establish CBSE schools in the state. It will help students belonging to economically insolvent groups to study English in government schools. Sarma inaugurated an Adarsh Vidyalaya at Rang Mahal on the north bank of the Brahmaputra. At the same time, he inaugurated Rang Mahal Higher Secondary School built in the same building at the same campus. Sarma termed the development a happy occasion as the state is witnessing dedication of 18 Adarsh Vidyalayas under CBSE, which will be imparting studies in the English language, and 19 Vidyalayas in tea garden areas that will be imparting instructions in the Assamese language. Khalistan Tiger Force Chief Hardeep Singh Nijjar, one of the most wanted terrorists in India, was shot dead by two unidentified men within the premises of a Gurdwara in Canada. Nijjar was shot around 8:30 p.m. in the parking lot of Guru Nanak Gurdwara Sahib in Surrey. He was the Gurdwara president. Witnesses reported that two gunmen fled after firing at him. A police officer said upon attendance, police found an adult male inside a vehicle suffering from apparent gunshot wounds and provided medical assistance until emergency health services arrived on scene. The man died of his injuries at the scene. The integrated homicide investigation team had been called in. Police are still working to determine possible suspect descriptions from multiple witnesses who were in the area. The CBI sealed the house of the Soro section signal junior engineer in the Balasore as part of their investigation into the Odisha triple train accident. The engineer Amir Khan, who lived in a rented house, was earlier questioned by the CBI but has since gone missing with his family. The CBI during the initial investigation questioned the engineer at an undisclosed location. Following their visit to Balasore on 16 June, the CBI team returned and sealed the engineer's residence. However, the engineer was not present at his home. A signal junior engineer plays a crucial role in ensuring the safety of train operations by installing, maintaining and repairing signaling equipment such as signals, track circuits, point machines and interlocking systems. It is important to note that the responsibilities of a signal junior engineer may vary depending on the division of zone within the Indian Railways. The Supreme Court said that elections cannot be accompanied by violence. It was hearing a plea by the West Bengal State Election Commission challenging the Calcutta High Court order directing it to seek central forces for all the districts in the state for the upcoming panchayat polls. Holding elections cannot be a license for violence. Elections cannot be accompanied by violence, the apex court said. The High Court had on June 13 asked the SEC to requisition central forces to be deployed in areas identified as sensitive by the Commission in its report to the High Court for the polls scheduled on July 8. On June 15, the High Court directed the Commission to requisition central forces for all the districts in the state within 48 hours. Now it's time for a short break. We'll be back soon.
Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world. Peaks in science and tech.
Third stay separated.
Are they keeping the global warming in check? From foreign policies to international disputes, we keep an eye on India's rise to superpower. We bring you news as is. No opinions, no agenda, no masala. Keep calm and access top stories right in your palm. We bring you news that you can
के
use.
हालात को देखते हुए देश में ये लॉकडाउन 21 दिन का होगा।
Cruising through the alleys, towns and metros. Every moment of importance, from geopolitical moves to hyper-local news. We bring you what's happening in India. New outlook, new thoughts, news with the views. Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.
So we are back after a break. Now moving ahead. The police in Pune have confirmed that the death of 26-year-old Darshana Pawar, who had recently qualified for the State Forest Services and whose body was found at Rajgarh Fort, a popular tourist and trekking spot, was a case of murder. They have also stepped up their search to locate her 25-year-old friend, who they believe is a missing link in the case. The post-mortem report has confirmed that the deceased Darshana was murdered. Multiple injuries along with evidence of a head injury have been found on her body. A probe is on to identify the killer and motive behind the murder. As of now, an offence of murder under Section 302 of the IPC is being registered against unidentified accused, Assistant Police Inspector Manoj Pawar of Welhe Police Station said. A delegation of 30 MLAs from Manipur, all from the state's dominant Meitei community, met Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Delhi, demanding that there should be no change in territorial integrity of the state and seeking the centre's withdrawal from the tripartite suspension of operations pact with Kuki-Zomi insurgent groups. The delegation of MLAs, mostly from the BJP and one each from the NPP and JDU, also met Manipur BJP state in charge Sambit Patra with similar demands. They will also meet BJP National General Secretary Santosh. The stress on territorial integrity comes amid violent clashes between the Kuki-Zomi tribes and Meiteis in Manipur for more than a month. The violence has led to a demand for a separate administration by the Kuki-Zomi community. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting Tesla CEO and Twitter owner Elon Musk during his landmark US trip. The Prime Minister earlier met Musk in 2015 during a visit to Tesla Motors factory in California. Back then, Musk did not own Twitter. The Prime Minister's upcoming meeting with Musk comes at a time when Tesla is scouting for a location for its Indian factory. During an interview by the Wall Street Journal, Musk was asked if the automaker was interested in the Indian market. Absolutely, he replied. He added that Tesla is likely to finalize a location to set up an India factory by the end of this year. According to the sources in the government, the Prime Minister will be meeting over 24 thought leaders from various fields after landing in New York. The flood situations in Assam is serious, with nearly 31,000 people still reeling under the deluge across 10 districts of the state. The India Meteorological Department has issued a red alert and predicted very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall across several districts of Assam over the 5 days. IMD's Regional Meteorological Center in Guwahati issued a red alert for 24 hours followed by orange alerts for the subsequent 2 days and yellow alert for Thursday. According to the daily flood report of the Assam State Disaster Management Authority, more than 30,700 people are hit due to floods in Chirang, Darang, Dhemaji, Dhubri, Dibrugarh, Kokrajhar, Lakhimpur, Nalbari and Sonitpur districts. Tom Cruise is back with the 7th part of Mission Impossible. At Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1's world premiere in Rome, the Hollywood actor turned emotional. While speaking to media about his film, he talked about his films and said cinema bridges walls. It breaks them down and allows people to be able to share an experience. Tom Cruise said he was very grateful to be attending Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1's world premiere in Rome. The event took place on the Spanish steps of the Italian capital, where much of the latest franchise installment takes place. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 will be out in theaters in India on July 12. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates.
Pacific One News, the news web leader, your exposure to the world.